It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news. This is the Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors.
Hi everybody, and welcome into our show today. Glad to have you along as the Southwest Outdoors Report is on the road again. We've traveled to South Texas to my very first ever visit to Lake Conroe. Lake Conroe is just north of Houston, just a little west of I-45. It is a highly developed lake. It's a very unusual lake, fishing-wise, and we're going to talk about that on today's show. We'll fish for some crappie, maybe some white bass, maybe a largemouth or two. Who knows what we'll discover out there on the lake today. While we're doing that, we're taking you around the region for your very latest fishing reports from Cajun Phil in Louisiana, Gary Dallahan in Oklahoma, Brian Hughes in Texas, and Bill Olson on the Texas Gulf Coast. Also this week on the Lawrence Hot Lake of the Week, we're taking you to northern Louisiana for some bass fishing at Lake Claiborne. We'll have the Ask the Pro, we'll have the Academy Right Stuff, show you the equipment you'll need, and much more. But first, we take you back to the FSN studios. Here's Julie with the Chevy Weekend Planner.
The fishing tables for your holiday weekend show the prime daylight times will be in the late afternoon, starting at 4 o'clock on Saturday and 5 o'clock on Sunday. The sun will rise at 7:03 and set at 7:50, and evenings will display a crescent moon 39% illuminated. Stay with us, we're coming right back with all of your fishing updates from around the Southwest. Plus, Shaw Grigsby will join me later for this week's Ask the Pro feature.
Hey, next week is launch week, something I'm very excited to announce, the first week of our new weekly online chat sessions with our reporters here on the Southwest Outdoors Report. Beginning next Saturday, September 10th, right after the Saturday airings of our show each week from 8:30 to 9 a.m., one of our reporters will be live online to answer your questions and talk fishing. It's very easy to join the conversation. Just go to our website, log in as a fan club member, or join if you haven't already. It's free, and click on the link to go directly to our chat page. Once you're there, just enter a screen name and you're in, and you can type in your question or comment into the chat box. I'll be online for the first session next week, Saturday, September 10th, and you can see the schedule for all of our reporters for the following weeks on that same live chat page.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors. Buy quality award-winning Tracker boats. Fish the finest. Lawrence, maker of the HDS, high-definition systems, and Academy. Right stuff, low price, every day.
There's a bite. I got something. That's a good pull, too. Hey, welcome back, everybody. You're on your oh, that's a big crappie. You're on your Southwest Outdoors Report. There is a good crappie right there. Hey, this is my first ever fishing trip to Lake Conroe, and it didn't take long. And there is big Mr. Crappie right there, a big, fat, healthy, nice specimen. And caught it on a little ultralight spinning rig right here in the middle of the day. Now, let's tell you a couple of things. I'm going to put this fish back. There he goes. See ya. Let's talk about Lake Conroe for just what I've seen already. We're down in the lower end of the lake. This is an open water lake. There's not a lot of visible cover. I don't see any standing timber. I don't see any brush, no logs, no weed beds. Everything is just pretty much open and nothing. So all you're fishing here for crappie, white bass, hybrid stripers, and largemouth bass, it's all going to be structure type fishing, things you need to find with your electronics underwater, humps, ridges, road beds, creek channels, all those kind of up and down turns off the bottom are what's going to hold the fish. Now, I started off not knowing what I was going to catch, and the first pitch out there I caught a little yellow bass, and then the very next pitch I caught a nice sized crappie. So again, you don't know what you're going to catch here, 4 or 5 different species, but again, you just got to be prepared to fish open water and no cover to speak of, a few little brush piles here and there. All right, I'm gonna fish around here a little bit more. As you can see, I'm just out in the middle of nowhere here, but that's a good start. Let's start checking in with your regional fishing reports right now. Let's check in with Gary Dallahan, your Sooner beat in Oklahoma.
Freddie Cunha was a fishing tackle distributor from Europe, visiting here from France to see the Jean Leroux and Crappie Pro manufacturing operations. Of course, they had to sample the Oklahoma fishing too, and they started out on Lake Hudson fishing with Claremore's George Tolson. They were joined by the interpreter Pauline and also Tulsa World Outdoor editor Kelly Boston. They had a good day fishing on the lake. They were targeting break lines 4 to 8 foot deep. Freddie wanted to see the bottom bugging technique, so that's what they were doing, dragging the new mossy pumpkin biffle bug on a 5/16 or 7/16 ounce hard head, making sure it stayed in contact with the bottom. Caught a good number of fish throughout the day, and it was a lot of fun seeing Freddie catch his first Oklahoma bass, and then also seeing Pauline catch her first largemouth bass here in this state. Both of them turned out to be really good anglers, a lot of fun to be with. The next day, Clarence Boatman and his buddy Leon took them crappie fishing on Keystone Lake in the morning hours. They caught a good mess of crappie, all the way from about half a pound up to as big as 2.5 pounds, throwing 3-inch Bobby Garland slab slayers, blue ice color, fishing over brush on the bottom in depths of 8 to 12 feet. So remember that too if you're crappie fishing in Oklahoma right now. The last day of their visit, they went down to Lake Eufaula, fished with Crappie Pro Todd Huckabee. He was fishing standing timber in 12 to 25 foot of water, and he said those crappie were usually coming around the 12 to 16 foot depth mark. They were catching the best colors, black and pink, pumpkin and chartreuse, and he was throwing the beaver tails. It was a lot of fun seeing our French visitors get excited about catching our Oklahoma species, and they found out in a hurry what I tell you every week.
Tu peux pas les attraper si tu vas pas.
You can't catch them if you don't go.
We've had several requests on our Facebook page lately to do some bass fishing hotspots in the northern part of Louisiana. So we accommodate those requests on this week's Lowrance Hot Lake of the Week. We're going to show you Lake Claiborne, which is located in the north part of the state, north of I-20. So let's locate it for you right now on the Lowrance HDS 10. You see the city of Homer, Louisiana is in the top left-hand side of your screen. One good area where the bass have been biting is on the south end near the dam around the state park. We switch to the Navionics Hot Maps Platinum Contours for all the detail, and we locate that same area with the dam on the right-hand side or the east end of the lake. There are good bass reports coming in fishing buzzbaits and chugger topwaters near the state park shoreline. We zoom in again to locate the boat ramp here, and you can start anywhere along that south shore and fish all the way to the dam and have a good chance to catch some bass. Now, there's not much visible cover in the lake, so you're literally fishing very simply along the shoreline, but with a topwater, you'll have a good chance to get bit. That's this week's Lowrance Hot Lake of the Week. Stay with us. More fishing from Lake Conroe and more fishing reports from the Southwest region when we return.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Stren, the standard of dependability, by Jean Leroux Lures and Bobby Garland Baits, quality soft plastic baits made in Oklahoma with American pride, Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors, and Mercury Marine.
Something picked it up. Big crappie, big crappie. Man, look at this crappie. Wow. That's a hog right there now. Hey, we're at Lake Conroe today, and this is a little pleasant surprise right here. I really didn't come here expecting to fish for or catch crappie. Thought we would catch white bass for the most part, and maybe a hybrid striper mixed in, maybe a largemouth, but look at this. That is a big dude right there. That crappie would make anybody's grease stink right there. We're gonna let it go back. And goodbye. We'll tell you that the depth that we're seeing out here, the fish are holding along with the bait fish in about 12 to 15 feet of water. That kind of seems to be the magic depth. I will tell you that, you know, we've had the horrible drought all summer long. Most of our lakes didn't come through it very well, but Lake Conroe actually did okay. They do let water out of this lake downstream to, I believe it's Lake Houston, which is water supply for the city of Houston, and they did drop this lake some, but it's held up pretty well. The water is fairly clear here. A lot of recreational boat traffic. You're gonna see a lot of jet skis, a lot of big pleasure boats, big ski boats. We'll tell you something else. Evidently, it takes big stringers of largemouth bass to do well in the tournament on this lake. There are a lot of 6 to 9 pound largemouth bass in this lake. You can fish rock riprap and you can fish underwater humps with brush on top. That's your key for bass fishing here at Lake Conroe. But I'm having a great time catching these crappie. Let's move along right now and check in with Brian Hughes. Here's the rest of your fishing reports from the state of Texas.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Executive Outfitters. Now by the time you see this, 3 things will have changed. First of all, hunting season has started with the opening of dove season in the north and central zones. Secondly, you need your new license for fishing and hunting after the 1st. And thirdly, regulations across our state always change on September 1st of that season. And this affects you in that Toledo Bend is our destination this week for crappie, and the regulations have changed. For a long time, Texas had one set of rules, Louisiana side had another set. Now they have amalgamated those rules, and it's a universal limit across the lake, no matter where you fish. To find those changes, check your Parks and Wildlife Outdoor Annual, which is available anywhere you can buy a license. All the retailers have the Outdoor Annual for 2011 and 2012. To catch the crappie, go to the channels in 20 to 25 feet, look for some brush, and drop down minnows or crappie jigs. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Executive Outfitters. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Port Aransas on Mustang Island. Surrounded by pristine bays, estuaries, and the deep blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico, Port A is truly the fishing capital of Texas. Come fish, golf, and play Texas Island style. For more information, visit the website on the screen. Well, the weekend-long Labor Day holiday signals the unofficial end of summer and the start of fall. We can only hope cooler weather is ahead of us. Once again on a holiday weekend, coastal anglers may need to beat the crowds. Early and particularly late in the day, we have great times to fish the water and have it to yourself. Shallow flats on the upper Laguna Madre, as well as on the south end of Aransas Bay, are great places to ambush schooling redfish. Also check out Shamrock Cove and in behind Mustang and North Padre Islands. If the floating grass is not too bad, try a topwater lure. Otherwise, soft plastics or jig heads, spoons, or a rattling float rig will produce. Now, speckled trout continue to hold in deeper water or bury in deeper grass. Also, the edge of the intracoastal waterway is holding good specks and increasing numbers of flounder. Look for guts that drain surrounding flats. Secluded portions of the beachfront are also good options. Try the area north of High Island, Matagorda Island, as well as the National Seashore. Look for bait, birds, and slicks. Some of the better action has come from the deeper water in the second gut. This weekend, Saturday, is a 3-tide day with 2 low tides and just 1 high. This Sunday has a single tide schedule of 1 high and 1 low tide. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Abu Garcia for life. By Navionics. Enjoy Navionics anytime, anywhere. By Whataburger, just like you like it. And by Motor Guide Trolling Motors.
There we go. All right, we got a bass. There we are. Hey folks, we are on Lake Conroe today, and we've been talking about different species of fish in the lake. There's just a little average 2-pound largemouth bass, but the key is, let me show you how he got caught. Back he goes. You can see right here, this is just a big boat dock structure. The key is finding these boat docks that jut out over deep enough water. And it doesn't take a lot of water. It's a relatively shallow lake. So if you've got 3 or 4 feet of water underneath the outside edge of a boat dock like we have in this one, then you're likely to get bit. Now, I've gone to heavier tackle to do that. Big flipping rod, big Revo Toro reel, and I've got a Who Daddy, a Gina LaRue Who Daddy bait. I'll show all that to you a little bit later in the Academy Right Stuff. But there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of boat docks on Lake Conroe, big old wooden piers, just like this one, which is the perfect setup to catch a largemouth bass. All right, let's move east of here to Louisiana, check on all your fishing reports this week from there. Here's Cajun Phil.
Hi friends, Cajun Phil here with your Fox Louisiana fishing report. Well, I'm excited this week. I'm down here with Captain Donovan. Donovan, tell me about it, buddy. It looks like y'all had a good trip.
Yes, sir, absolutely. We went out today and started out with some crack crabs, caught a bunch of bull reds, and had our limit of that, caught some drum, left off, went back in the duck ponds, threw some gold spoons.
This is down in Lafitte, Louisiana, right?
Yes, sir, Lafitte, Louisiana. We're about 25 minutes out of New Orleans.
I also had some good reports this week from Captain Jack over at Chalmette. Down in Venice, Louisiana. I tell you what, it's hot and heavy down there. Just had some guys this weekend brought me some big old amberjacks. They caught tuna, amberjack, wahoo! They caught marlin. They had everything. Venice is alive. Hopedale's alive. And you can see what's happening down here in Lafitte, Louisiana. I tell you what, give old Donovan a call. Come on down here. It is fantastic fishing down in Louisiana. Talked to Captain Kevin this morning. He had his limit of 45 trout and 20 reds. Hey, it's on fire. You need to come down here and do some saltwater fishing in Louisiana. Till next time, it's okay to Phil for Donovan and the whole bunch of you. Happy fishing and may God bless and we go see you next week.
Hey, before we head to the next break, I mentioned earlier that the fish on Conroe relate to underwater structure. Undulations, variations in the bottom contour. Let me show you what one such place looks like, one of the places where we've caught the fish so far today. Let's go to the Lowrance HDS-10. You can see on the left-hand side of the screen is the regular 2D sonar. The right side is structure scan. There's a ball of bait fish, same bait fish on structure scan. What's going to happen now, we're going to come up off the bottom and you can see one of these humps that comes up here, bait hanging on the sides of the hump. It's going to come up to 14, 13 feet on top, and then it's going to drop right back down. So you can see a perfect underwater hump or a ridge, and it's got bait hanging off the sides of it. That's the perfect kind of a spot you want to look for on Lake Conroe. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll have the Academy Right Stuff, big fish photo on the big catch of the week, and we'll have your Ask the Pro.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Academy. Right stuff, low price, every day. Nitro Performance Bass Boats. Fish your best in a Nitro. Costa Del Mar Sunglasses. See what's out there. And by Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time now for our Ask the Pro feature. Our question this week is from Eric in San Antonio, who writes, how do you find out where the fish are when your lake is overwhelmed with hydrilla? For the answer, let's ask two-time FLW champion, Shaw Grigsby.
Finding bass in a grass lake that has a lot of hydrilla in it is can be a little bit daunting because there's so much grass, but we do the same thing. Just use the grass as, let's say, a bank. So you're looking for points. Points create great places for them to ambush. Look for pockets, maybe holes in it. That's a great place for them to ambush. And look for thicker spots and thinner spots. So if they're real thick, heavy, then you're going to punch through the center of it. If you got a point and it thins out on the point you're going to find them. And then where it thins out, you might throw a spinnerbait and things like that. So look for some irregularity, something a little different in those grass beds, and you'll catch fish.
Thank you, Shaw. If you have a question for one of the pros, just visit our website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com. Click on the Ask the Pro link and send us your information. Have a great holiday, everyone. Now back to Barry.
Thanks very much. We're back out at Lake Conroe, and it's time right now for the Big Catch of the Week photo. Congratulations to a young man. His name is Joshua Smith, age 8, from Oklahoma City. He is shown here modeling a 7 1/4 pound largemouth bass he caught at Lake Murray near Ardmore, Oklahoma. If you'd like to enter our contest, simply go to the website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com. Everything you'll need to enter to become a member of our fan club, it's free. It's in the top right-hand corner of the front page. Beyond that, you can check our weekly blog. You can check the Chevy Kidfish schedule. You can enter your big catch of the week photo, and you can also send us your Ask the Pro question. Also, while we're at it, we'll mention that we're on Facebook, facebook.com. Everything you ever wanted to know about our show, we're constantly updating the Facebook page with lots of information that you won't see here on the television show. Also, if you want to watch our show and you miss it on any week, you can watch it on the website, southwestoutdoorsreport.com. Right on the front page is a link to play the video for the past week's show. And then you can catch up on all the archived episodes from the entire season on our YouTube channel at youtube.com. Hey, I also want to mention that our show will be on next week in our normal time slot, 10:30 on Thursday night. We do not have any conflicts, so we will be on at 10:30 region-wide. Also, you can catch us Saturday morning with the re-air at 8 o'clock. On this week's Academy Right Stuff feature, let's talk about the 2 rod and reel setups you'll need to fish like we did on Conroe. First of all, this bottom one is an ultralight rig. It's a little 6-foot medium light action spinning rod with a small spinning reel and 8-pound test Stren original line. Now, to flip those boat docks, you need something much heavier. 7 or 7.5 foot medium or medium heavy action flipping stick with the big Abu Garcia Revo Toro reel. It's the big wide spool reel, and I spool it up with big line, 20-pound test Stren original line for flipping and pitching under those boat docks. Hey, it's a great fishery out there. It's a little tricky, but there are some big bass to be caught, lots of crappie, lots of white bass, and even some hybrid stripers. From Lake Conroe, I'm Barry Stokes. Till next week, be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.